Hey everyone, I'm back again. I usually make these videos when I feel called to. Usually, I feel like there's a weight that I need to get off my chest. Sometimes I wish that it wasn't that way. Sometimes I wish that I would make positive videos. But the truth is that this thing is like therapy for me. And it's exactly what I need right now to progress. So I'll take that one to the bank. I wasn't feeling so bad earlier today and yesterday. I feel like I was actually doing pretty well. I wouldn't say I'm doing bad now, but I wasn't feeling so heavy, and now I am again. I received a message today, and it was about two things. One thing is that no matter how far, how deep you go, you are never too far from coming back again. Number two, to exist in the space where contradiction exists, where paradox lives. I feel like I've been living in a very paradoxical state for many years, and recently it's definitely been the case too. Sometimes I feel great, sometimes I feel ass, sometimes it's both at the same time. Sometimes I know everything is going to be okay, sometimes I feel like the world is ending. Again, sometimes both at the same time. It's been extremely difficult for me to process this, but I stopped trying to understand it. But part of me wonders and nags, asks whether it's valid for me to feel this way. If I'm just tricking myself or fooling myself. I still don't have the answer to that. That certainly is a perspective. I know that it can't be the whole truth. I also got a haircut today. It's tough for me to like my hair, the way I look. It always has been. Every single time I go to the hair salon, I always don't know what I want. I usually tell them to just do whatever you think is good, but a lot of the times it doesn't end up coming out in a way that I like, and I'm not so sure what contributes to that. But I'm sure that it has to do with my perception of myself. I think it didn't help today, too, that I had a ton of caffeine. I feel pretty on edge and destabilized. But then again, that can be helpful because it can show me what's there. When taking these substances, whether it's caffeine, alcohol, weed, even non chemical substances, going out into social situations, it always shows you what's deep inside and it brings out things that you may not be looking at or aware of. I feel restless often too. I always wonder, when is my time coming? I think that I'm here. I know that I'm here to do great things. It would be arrogant of me to say that I am more special than anyone else. I used to think that that is true. Now, although I don't believe that, I see the special qualities in everyone. But at the same time, this is another one of those paradoxical situations where I've got to acknowledge what I'm here to do. The truth is that I have a gift of insight. I have a gift of being able to see and understand. And it seems like no matter where I go, I feel like the level of depth that I have attained, it doesn't matter who it is, it doesn't matter how old they are. Almost every time, it feels as though I am aware to a degree that others may not be. And I often feel a responsibility. And this used to feel like an obligation. And sometimes it still feels like an obligation, but at the same time, a responsibility is different than an obligation. Because a responsibility is a privilege. The responsibility to share, to help support those around me, and to help lift them up. Now, this is a difficult space for me to exist in. And often what comes to my mind is the phrase, to whom much is given, much is tested. Because I feel tested. Every day I feel tested. I carry a very heavy burden. And I also want to learn how to give that burden up. So I can still do what I meant to do, but without the weight. I haven't really figured out how to do that yet. Being born in my family, they are so not willing to listen, so mentally stuck. It feels like I shouldn't be able to see. It's odd. I feel like it would make more sense if I was more like my parents and one track minded, which to be fair, I was. But this degree of departure from the groove that my family has been operating in, I don't know. It's special for sure. I have a mark on my back, a massive birthmark. It's blue. It's one of those things, there is a term for it called Mongolian spots. Typically, they are small and they are found only in infancy and the early stages of a child's growth, and they tend to disappear later on into life, but mine has stayed with me my whole life. I have two 11s in my birth chart, both for my name and my birthday. That is, I believe, my life path number and my expression number. 11s. I know that before I came to this life, I chose, just like we all did, what it would be like, what our mission is. And those intentions are embedded within these things about myself. And sometimes I struggle with the idea of how I ever will live up to that. Because day to day, I'll be engaging in the most degenerate patterns. I'll be literally refreshing my social media all the time just so I can get a little bit, like a 1 second of a rush by seeing a notification. Like, that is legitimately addict behavior, fiend behavior. I have heard about people who, when they do cocaine, at the very end, the fiending for even just like the littlest bit of powder left, that's exactly what I feel with this social media stuff. And it drives me insane. Not only that, I feel like I can't stop scrolling TikTok too, even when I know I don't like it. Like, it doesn't feel good. I'm scrolling past every single video within a matter of seconds. I'm not even watching them. I'm just doing it to numb myself. And so I look at myself and I feel pathetic. I'm like, how can this exist? How can I, in my soul, know that I have a great purpose here, but also be like this? Lie in bed, feel depressed. Sometimes I still feel like I don't want to exist. Like, if I had the option to just stop existing in this life, I might take it. But again, this is a space of the paradox. I believe I'm meant to be here to experience these things so that I can understand. I can understand what it's like for people. Because the most heartwarming, the most touching moments that I've had in my time of sharing myself online are those moments where someone says, I know exactly how you're feeling. Thank you so much. I know I'm not alone. I know it's for those kinds of people that I'm meant to experience these things. It's humbling to know that this can happen to any of us. And it doesn't matter how capable you are, how blessed you are. I mean, also, having these sorts of issues can also be seen as a blessing. But I digress. It doesn't matter who you are. This can just happen to you because we live in a fucked up world. And a fucked up world will produce a fucked up state of being. But sometimes I wish that it was over. I wish that I was just able to fly again. I wish that sometimes I would just have a group of friends that completely understands me, a loving partner who also completely understands me and supports me, spending every single day with them, chilling, doing stuff, talking about life, being deep, doing things that are fun for exploration, for creative exploration, for just life experience exploration, living life to the fullest. And I don't feel that way right now. But at the same time, again, it's the paradox because the way that I am living now is using my circumstances right now to the fullest. I am putting myself out there. I am declaring to the universe that I wish for a change. I know that I can experience something better, fuller, richer. I used to think that my main strength was in my intellect. And although I have a sharp intellect, the intellect cannot intellectualize me out of whatever I'm dealing with or going through now. I have been learning how to express other gifts of empathy and trust. Every single day I'm challenged. How can you let go today? How can you let go? I don't want to let go because it feels like it sucks, but it sucks because I don't want to let go. I so often don't even know what to say because it's both sad, depressing, amazing, awesome, hilarious, infuriating, dejecting, confusing, all at the same time. That is also something that makes me want to stop existing sometimes because of just how overwhelming it all feels. But again, I'll let go. Stop trying to make sense of it all. I do trust, at the bottom of it all, I do trust that it is working out how it's meant to be. Even in times when sometimes I don't feel that way, I do feel that way. I do just wish sometimes that I'd be soaring in the sky on top of the world already. But another thing that I know is that I didn't come here for it to just be about myself. Not at all. It's about our whole planet. And that's big for me to say. But that is exactly what it's about for me. Every being on this planet. Am I delusional? Maybe. But if I am, then so be it. Thank you for listening. I say this every time, and I mean it deeply every time. Thank you. Understand and know that divinity is everywhere within. Know it to be true. Inquire upon it. Learn from it. Set your heart ablaze.